data center, and that's a primary thing. This was established around 2000, early 2000s, right? So early 2010, most of the organization, and still few of the organizations are working in this way. So what they'll do is they will, there is a term called data center. It's nothing but a kind of physical hardware infrastructure which was created in a huge volume, and we are going to host your application via your data center. That's how earlier 2010 was established, right? So let's say if I'm a developer, the developer will create a code in their local, and then obviously they need to do, the validation part, right? So they'll do their local testing, and they will give it to the operation team, right? So obviously, yes, there are other parts such as QA, UAT, and another one. Let's leave about that for now. Let's talk about the core product. One is the development, and then next is the production deployment, right? So what they'll do, they will create an application in their local, and they will, let's say their local is with, let's say 5 terabytes of data, or like 5 TB of SSD, and then maybe 4 GB of RAM. Just an example, right? So if this specification, and let's say this is working with, let's say Windows 11, right? So it's working with Windows 11. Their local platform is Windows 11, and they are testing their infrastructure entirely using the Windows 11, right? Windows 11 Community Edition. And when it comes to data center, what they need to do, they need to travel to the data center. Obviously, data centers are not located in their local, so they need to travel, and they need to give their infrastructure detail, right? Let's say 5 terabytes of data is needed, and then 4 GB of memory is required, and this can be used for, let's say, for 1,000 users. Okay, we call this as IOPS. So we will discuss a lot of terms when it comes to IOPS, right? IOPS is nothing but input output processing system. Okay, so this particular infrastructure is created for 1,000 users, and we are expecting, as a developer, our end customer will access at a time, they will try to access 1,000 users per second. Okay, that's my expectation, and I created my infrastructure in that way, right? You might have heard about the dry runs and then load testing, right? This everything comes under this platform. I think you might have had more experience on that, but yes, so this is how it will be. Um, okay, so next here comes a challenging part, right? We need to give our code, the local data information, to our data center. So data centers will not have only your application. It will be hosted with multiple different applications. So you need to, let's say, an X application, right? Maybe we have Y application, and then yeah, there are a lot of other applications as well, because it's a huge infrastructure. And this infrastructure is managed completely by a ops team, right? We need a ops team. So ops team plays a vital role, and let's say Linux team, right, or a Windows team, Windows admin. So Windows admin or a Linux admin will manage your application, and they will host your application and give it to the end customer. Okay, this is how earlier 2010. Yep. So few of the organization is working in this way, right, for data protection policies. But yes, and for creating data centers, right, it's huge of number of costs. So let's say if you are buying a 3 GB of RAM, you cannot reutilize that platform, and you need to use that 3 GB of RAM and upgrade it into a new platform. So there are a lot of other moving parts. We are not going to discuss anything. We are going to discuss in the cloud plat. But yes, so this is how your application is hosted in data centers, right? Earlier is one is the data center, and that's a primary thing. This was established around 2000, early 2000s, right? So early 2010, most of the organization, and still few of the organizations are working in this way. So what they'll do is they will, there is a term called data center. It's nothing but a kind of physical hardware infrastructure which was created in a huge volume, and we are going to host your application via your data center. That's how earlier 2010 was established, right? So let's say if I'm a developer, so developer will create a code in their local, and then obviously they need to do, the validation part, right? So they'll do their local testing, and they will give it to the operation team, right? So obviously, yes, there are other parts such as QA, UAT, and another one. Let's leave about that for now. Let's talk about the core product. One is the development, and then next is the production deployment, right? So what they'll do, they will create an application in their local, and they will, let's say their local is with, let's say 5 TB of data, or like 5 TB of SSD, and then maybe 4 GB of RAM. Just an example, right? So if this specification, and let's say this is working with, let's say Windows 11, right? So it's working with Windows 11. Their local platform is Windows 11, and they are testing their infrastructure entirely using the Windows 11, right? Windows 11 Community Edition. And when it comes to data center, what they need to do, they need to travel to the data center. Obviously, data centers are not located in their local, so they need to travel, and they need to give their infrastructure detail, right? Let's say 5 TB of data is needed, and then 4 GB of memory is required, and this can be used for, let's say, for 1,000 users. Okay, we call this as IOPS. So we will discuss a lot of terms when it comes to IOPS, right? IOPS is nothing but input output processing system. Okay, so this particular infrastructure is created for 1,000 users, and we are expecting, as a developer, our end customer will access at a time, they will try to access 1,000 users per second. Okay, that's my expectation, and I created my infrastructure in that way, right? You might have heard about the dry runs and then load testing, right? This everything comes under this platform. I think you might have had more experience on that, but yes, so this is how it will be. Um, okay, so next, here comes a challenging part, right? We need to give our code, the local data information, to our data center. So data centers will not have only your application. It will be hosted with multiple different applications. So you need to, let's say, an X application, right? Maybe we have Y application, and then yeah, there are a lot of other applications as well, because it's a huge infrastructure. And this infrastructure is managed completely by a ops team, right? We need a ops team. So ops team plays a vital role, and let's say Linux team, right, or a Windows team, Windows admin. So Windows admin or Linux admin will manage your application, and they will host your application and give it to the end customer. Okay, this is how earlier 2010. Yep. So few of the organization is working in this way, right, for data protection policies. But yes, and for creating data centers, right, it's huge of number of costs. So let's say if you are buying a 3 GB of RAM, you cannot reutilize that platform, and you need to use that 3 GB of RAM and upgrade it into a new platform. So there are a lot of other moving parts. We are not going to discuss anything. We are going to discuss in the cloud plat. But yes, so this is how your application is hosted in data centers, right? Early 2010. After 2010, they there are some challenges here. So what might be the challenges? So there are a couple of challenges in here. One is the connection between operation team and the data team, or the development team, right? Um, when I say connection, right, they are not working together, right? So this is a local infrastructure and this is a on-prem infrastructure, and you cannot, the developer doesn't have any accessibilities to their data center application, right? They will give the application and all the operations is managed by the ops team, right? End-to-end application management. So this is how it was, and there were a few challenges. One is the operations between development team and operation team. Why? Let's say if I have an application posted in Windows 11, and let's say I'm upgrading this infrastructure from 11.1 to 11.2, it might work in 11.1, and when I upgraded my infrastructure with 11.2, it might not work, right? When I say it might not work, there might be some dependency issue. So there will be, let's say Java JDK 11 version, and here it's JDK, let's say 8 version, is the lower version is hosted in their infrastructure, which means obviously the code might change, right? Java JDK 11, which the developer created, will have a advanced level of coding, and here it doesn't support that platform yet, right? They need to wait until I mean upgrade is completed. So there are multiple different moving parts, and this is one of the main challenge when it comes to data center deployment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we created, or like most of the organization migrated their infrastructure into VMware. VMware is a software which is the next advanced platform after the data center. Okay. VMware comes as a software which will be deployed on top of your infrastructure. Okay. Which means you can install multiple ISO files. ISO is nothing but if you download any platform, right? So let's say Microsoft or like Windows, if you want to download Windows or like Power iOS, Oracle, uh, softnet. So there are like multiple things, right? So if you want to download any of OS related file, those are called as ISO files. Okay, so we can deploy multiple ISO files at the same time. And the major advantages when it comes to VMware is it's going to have the development team and the operation team work together. How? It is nothing but VMware infrastructure is nothing but a local data center is created on their, it's a local data center or created on their own organization. What they'll do is they will create a room called server room, right? You might have seen. Uh, so what the server room does for your organization, it basically maintains the hardware devices, right? So how your application was hosted after that? They will have their own data center, a small set of data center created on their organization, and using that organization data center, they will host their application in the similar fashion. In a way, development and operation team work together and manage their application in an efficient way. Okay, so this is the main advantage when it comes to VMware. It avoided the dependency between operation team and development team, right? So that's the main advantages when it comes to VMware infrastructure. Okay, here also there are few challenges. One of the main challenges is a disaster recovery. Your application should be efficient and should be accessible throughout the globe, right? We need to reduce the latency. So you are in Africa and I'm in India, right? So there are multiple different towers if I'm transferring my voice, right? So it should travel to multiple different towers and it should reach to you, right? Everything happens in a microseconds, which is called TTL value. Okay. we need to reduce the TTL value in order to access an application in an efficient way. That's one of the main disadvantages when it comes to your data center, VMware infrastructure. Okay, all right. And another scenario, it might, let's say, if you have a power outage throughout the area, or let's say for 2 days, or like maybe a cyclone hit the particular province, and due to that, it is completely blocked. You cannot, even though if I'm in India, you might access my application in the other part of world. I might have heard, I might have had a huge disaster happened in my place, but it should not affect my application, right? So the application deployment should be easy and it should be efficient as well, right? And should be secure. So there are five pillars: efficiency, security, reliability, redundancy, and dependency. Okay. So this should be efficiently managed, and that's how the local data center infrastructure has been established using your VMware. Application might be turned off after 5 years, and I might need to work on the Y application, which is a new application which I'm trying to create. For my new application, I need to create a different infrastructure. Let's say if I from here, let's say I have 500 GB of CPU, I might need to, let's say DDR3 RAM, right? Which might not be, reliable in the upcoming years, right? It might need to upgrade. You need to upgrade it into a newer version of RAM so that your application will be efficient enough. So cost plays a vital role here. In your local data center, if you have a huge number of application deployment, your your cost of maintaining the data center, and it should be also maintained in a certain level of degree, right? So you will have to maintain your air condition, you need to have a security, and there should not be a power outage, there should be a generators. There are a lot of things, lots of moving parts around your local data centers as well. Here, everything will be managed by a data center team itself, but here we have to manage everything manually as an organization. Okay. So to overcome this, they created a new platform. Initially, AWS established and then Azure established. AWS established with the e-commerce sector, and then they established with the different services. And now we have multiple cloud service providers using this similar technology and made our application deployment in an efficient and easy way as well. Okay. So this is an overview of the cloud. I'll tell you what are the advantages of cloud as well, right? So let's quickly discuss a few topics on the advantages of the cloud. So what is cloud basically? Any questions before that? Any questions related?
Uh, no,
Uh,
nothing. So VMware is a software, right? So we buy the software and we just install
exactly,
on our
exactly.
machines.
So exactly.
Okay.
VMware. Okay, so you can download VMware.
Mm.
Even you can download and you can use it in your Windows or other machines as well. So it's nothing but CPU, like bare metal only reads zeros and ones, right? So on top
Mm.
of bare metal, they'll install one software, and with the softwares they will install the ISO files which I showed you earlier, and then they'll try to bring up the different softwares at the same time.
Okay.
And
Okay, cool.
yeah, okay. So this is the last topic. So this is going to be the cloud, right? Why the
Mm.
cloud has been established and why it's a talking in the cloud. So when I say cloud is nothing but a group of data centers across the globe. Okay, so here I talked about only one data center, right? But when it comes to cloud, let's say Azure, right? Microsoft created multiple data centers across the globe, and they created one single UI. With that UI, you can access your application from any part of the world. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I say multiple data centers, right? So so this is an official page of Azure. This will tell us how the global data centers looks like. So if you see here, this is in Africa, Brazil, Africa. So this is they are still trying to establish here. So wherever you see a green dot, right? It's basically a region. Okay. So when I say region, a region is nothing but a group of data centers. Okay. So let's say if I say Mexico Central, right? Mexico Central is nothing but a region. Inside the region, they will have minimum two data centers. Okay. Minimum two data centers should be available under Mexico. So that's how they create it. Okay.
Mm.
From my, let's say if I'm in India, right? So if I want to create an application which will be managed or like which will be utilized by a Mexican or like my end customers, Mexican customer, instead of hosting my application in India and the TTL values, right? The delay between the delivery of my product or the slowness can be reduced and it can be efficiently managed via UI. You can easily manage the DevOps operation, and then you can easily maintain the application. You can do the deployment, and it's safe and secure. The most important part is whatever you are going to use, you are going to pay for that, which means here it's cheap, but there are a lot of dependency issue. Here it's super costly and it's hard to manage. But in cloud, we can easily manage. We can easily terminate an application, delete an entire infrastructure. Hey, let's say if I want to move from X application to Y application, I can easily remove the entire application and I don't want to pay any additional cost if I'm not using that. Okay. So
Mm.
that's how cloud created a platform where organizations can easily manage their application in an efficient way. That's how, and after 2015, most of the organization are adapting their infrastructure, from cloud or sorry, from data centers or from their VMware infrastructure into their cloud infrastructure. Okay, so this is how a cloud platform has been established. We need to understand why cloud is needed. That's why this session is. I wanted to give you a glimpse about it. But yes, I hope you're clear with the information what I have given. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, nothing for now.
Okay. Cool. So we want to create a Azure account. So do you have Azure account?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Cool. So I'll share you a link. It's a simple process. Make sure you're creating a free tier account. So you will be out, you need to provide your email address and then it will, uh, it's a three-step process. It's basically, will ask you for your basic information and then your card information. It will detect, I'm not sure how much it will detect, but it will be refunded, since you are in Africa. I'm not sure how much they are going to detect. And here in India, it's just only very minimal. It's 1 rupee. In
Mhm.
Africa, I'm not sure how much they detect, but we need our
Yeah, it will
account,
be. Yeah, it will be 1 rand. Yeah, yeah.
right? So yeah, so it will be refunded after 20 days. So you don't have to worry. It will be free tier eligibility. So once you create your account, it will look like this. Okay. So I want you to create your account. So first, initially, we will discuss about the basic components of Azure. and then we will establish this goes into the DevOps platform. So we need to perform the operation part first. Once we are comfortable with the operations, we will go for the the automation part, okay, which is the DevOps tool. DevOps is nothing but you have cloud platform, right? Let's say if I have application sitting here, it's in cloud. I might add another platform or another tool. This tool will efficiently deploy my application. So we need to understand how to deploy this application first. Once
Mhm.
we are comfortable with that, we can add an additional layer. We can add another, different tools and create a pipeline to easily deploy this application in an efficient way. Okay? So that's how
Mhm.
it works. But yes, so we will discuss this up in a efficient way in the upcoming session. And one more thing, I won't be available after 11. So if you are uncomfortable around 10:30, let them know. I'll be only available at 10 to 11 because this is my part time, so I have a call after 11, so I have
Uh,
to shift back.
yeah,
Just
because I asked. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So usually in Azure, right? So you open the account, Azure account.
yeah, I did. I did one.
Okay. Okay. So so do you know about the subscription resource group? Anything they discussed?
No, no, nothing. He just shared the link and he asked me
Okay.
to create an account, so I did. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Then no issue. So we'll start from the scratch. Okay. So usually when you are talking about the Azure, right? So first we have to create the. So first, what is a why we are going to use a cloud? So first we'll discuss about the basics. So why we need to go to the cloud? Any idea?
Are you asking me? No, I can continue. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why we are migrating to the cloud? Why we are using cloud platforms?
To get to access data from anywhere.
So to access the data from anywhere, right?
From anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So usually the main purpose of the cloud migration is it's not about accessing the data from anywhere. Okay. It's about having lots of advantages. Okay. It's not about accessing the data from anywhere. Okay. So usually before the cloud is coming to the picture, so there will be a on premises. Do you know on premises?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so usually that is on premises means nothing but whatever the resources owned by us. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so which means we are having the server, virtual machine, networking, right? So if you're taking any company, so definitely they are owning the entire data center. Okay, so the data center means it's nothing but they are owning the servers. Do you know about the server?
Mm.
Do you know?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So servers, right? Networking, right? So and creating the network boundary, right? And all the connections and the computers, right? Networking, switching, everything it's going to be completely owned by the organization, right? So
Mm.
to maintain this data center, they are spending lots of money, right? Because the purchasing the server itself, it's taking too much of amount, okay? Because it's not look like a laptop or computer purchasing the server, so the server, it's going to be very costly, it's very expensive, right? And setting up the servers and setting up the networking, right? And providing the complete the servers. Any idea?
Yeah, to store the data
Okay.
and
Any other
hardware.
purpose?
Hardware.
Hardware, software is everything, it's going to be a server, right? So what is the
Yes.
main purpose of the server? So why we are going to use the server in the real time?
The server is to access the data, right? So
Okay.
whatever we stored.
Yes, other than data, what we are going to use? Okay. So usually
Like.
server is nothing but, okay, the server it's look like your computer. Okay. So how
Mhm.
your computer or laptop is having the RAM, right? CPU and it's having storage, everything, right? And the networking. So same thing, the server also, it will have everything. Okay. But the main purpose of the server is it's having the huge capacity, right? It's not like a laptop. Like your laptop is having a limited storage, RAM, CPU, everything, but you can purchase lots of RAM, CPU, and storage, everything. You can put it in the big server. Okay, and the server capacity is high compared to laptops or compared to computers. Okay, and also the important thing, the server is main for hosting your website, hosting your websites. So usually website is nothing but, so in the real time we are accessing n number of website, right? So let's say we can take the hcl.com, right? So hcl.com is the company website, right? So where this website is running, so this website is running on server. Okay, so whatever the applications or website you are accessing in the real time, so all the website and application or the database and everything that is running in the server. Okay, so you can able to see, you can get the domain. Okay, so hcl.com, and just try to find the hcl.com server IP address. So I open the command prompt and just try to use the ping command to ping the domain hcl.com, and you can able to see one IP address, right? So this IP address is server IP. So exactly which server this hcl.com website is running. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so usually the server will have the IP address as well, right? So how your laptop also will having the IP address, right? So usually your server is having a RAM, CPU, networking, and the IP address. Okay, so using the IP address, you can able to access the website or application that is running inside the server. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so server, and also the important thing, to run the server, you have to provide continuous power. Okay, you have to provide the continuous power. Okay, so because it's not look like a laptop, you can just put 1 hour charger and after that you can use for 1 hour, not like that. So if you want to run the server, you have to provide continuous power. If the power is not there, you should have the alternative way to provide the to supply the power. So might be generator. Okay, so all the company will have the generator as well to provide the alternative power. Got it? So this is how the data center is nothing but it's a building, it's a company, right? So inside that we are going to have the complete server setup, networking setup, right? So networking is nothing but it's a kind of Wi-Fi network. So they will call it as a VPN private network. So everything it's going to be setting up, right? So this networking setup, it's completed by the network engineers. Okay, so that server hosting and everything, it's going to be setting up the server engineer. Okay, so it's going to be a lots of effort. So we have to put to create a complete data center. Okay, so once your data center is ready, so we have developers, right? So do you know the developers? What is the role for the developers? What is the role for the developers?
Develop.
To develop the websites.
Whatever website
Okay.
or applications or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
Whatever, right? So they will develop the websites or application, whatever. Once they develop, we are going to host it in the server, so that the website it's going to be accessible for everyone. Okay. So if you are taking the Amazon website or Flipkart website or whatever the website, if you are taking everything that is hosted in the server, right? So using that IP address, the server IP address, we are accessing from our system or computer. Okay, it's clear.
Yeah.
So this is how in the real time the IT organization is working based on the server, website, and softwares, whatever they are implementing. Okay, so this is called as a on-premises. Okay, on-premises nothing but what are the resources that is owned by us, completely owned by us. Okay, if something goes wrong or the server got crashed or the server got down or the networking got down, right? So something got down, so completely the responsibility is taken by us. Okay, no one will take the responsibility. Okay, because we are owning this on-premises building organization, so we have to take the responsibility if something goes wrong. Okay, and also we are spending lots of money. We are investing lots of money to spend to purchase the server networking and hiring the engineers, right? So these are all the engineers and work developers. So it's going to be completely owned by us. That is the important thing in the on-premises. Got it?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why the cloud is coming to the picture, right? So what is the main advantage of the cloud here is, right? So you don't want to spend any initial cost. Okay. So if you are trying to purchase any server, you have to put some cost, right? So you have to spend some 1 lakh or 2 lakh, something you have to spend to purchase the server, right? But if you go to the cloud, you don't want to spend any initial cost. That is completely owned by cloud, and you have to only pay as you go. So which means how much hours you are using, how many minutes you are using that server, that particular hours or minutes only you have to pay the amount. Okay, that is called pay as you go model. It's clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so cloud is it's purely depend on pay as you go model. So which means how much hours or minutes you are using the resources, that much so that amount only you have to pay. Okay, you don't want to pay the initial cost anything. Okay, so let's say you are 5 hours you are using the server in the cloud, then the 5 hours amount you have to pay. That's it. Okay, if you don't want, you can easily delete the server or you can stop the server. So the complete control we are having. Okay, the complete control we are having. It's clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the more important thing, it's fully managed by cloud. So usually cloud means in the real time we have AWS, we have Azure, okay, and GCP, etc. Okay, so there will be a number of cloud providers available. What they will do, they are investing millions of amount and they are building the data center. Okay, they are spending million of cost, lakhs of amount, and they are building one data center. And inside the data center, same way, server, networking, everything is IT resources, right? Everything that is available, they are giving for us for renting purpose. They are giving for us for renting purpose, right? So how much hours you are using, so then you can use the one. You can just pay the hours of cost. That's it. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is a main important thing of fully it's about the cloud. And also you don't want to pay any let's say the server got failed or the server got crashed or the employee cost, right? Server management cost, right? So there is a no infra management cost you don't want to pay. Okay. You don't want to pay any infra management cost, that is full and full zero. Okay, so it's fully managed by cloud. The only thing is whatever you are using, so they will calculate the hours or minute, right? How much hours you are using. So only that particular period amount you are going to pay. Okay, and you are going to, if you don't, if further you don't want to use it, you can delete it.
Mm.
Clear?
It's clear.
Yes, so that's why we are migrating to the cloud. Okay, so this is how still all the IT organization, they are 100% not migrate to the cloud. Still, most of the organization 90% migrated to the cloud, and still 10 to 15% they are owning the on-premises on-prem. Okay, they are having own servers, networking, server engineers, support engineers, everything. They are having a own data center. Okay, that is 15%. Okay, why? Because why we are fully not migrated to the cloud means the company will have some sensitive data, right? So let's say financial data or employee data or something, right? So some sensitive data they are storing in the own data center. Okay, they are not exposing or not exposing to the cloud environment. Okay, so that sensitive data they are still owning inside the data center office building. Okay, inside that building, so they have the servers. So inside the server they are maintaining the sensitive data. Still they don't want to exposes to the export to the cloud.
Yeah.
So this is how the cloud. This model is called as hybrid model. So mostly, most of the IT organization, they are working on hybrid model. Okay? Hybrid model means some percentage they are using the cloud, as well as some percentage they are using on premises as well. So that is called hybrid model. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts up to this?
No, carry on.
Yes. So now I believe you created the Azure account, right? So in the
Yeah.
Azure, we are going to learn about the basics, right? So usually in the Azure, right? So we are going to learn about data center, okay, region, and availability zone, AZ, right? And we are going to learn about the subscription, management, subscription, resource group, and resources. So these are the basics we should learn before we are going to use the Azure. Okay. So you know the data center, right? So what is the data center now?
Where
What
we
is the data
store,
center?
where we store all the hardware, softwares, and website
Hardware,
hosting.
software.
Yeah,
Yes.
server. Yeah.
Yes. So it's about so the Azure is maintaining everything, right? So the
Mm.
Azure is having a data center, right? So they will have a servers, networking, everything inside the building, right? So that building is called as a data center, right?
Yeah.
So usually in the Azure, they will have multiple data centers. It's not about in the India or US, they will have only one data center. India, they will have one data center. US, they will have one data center. Not like that. They will have multiple data center, okay, across the world. So that is a very important. Okay. So they are having broad networking across the world. Okay. So if you are taking the India, right? So in the India itself, they are having around 3 data center. If you are taking the US, they will have 3 data centers. So maximum for per region, they are having 3 data centers. Okay. So the data center, the name they will call as a B, C, something they will call as a name. Okay. They will notate as A, B, and C, or else zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So this is a name they are giving for the data center, each data center. Okay. So you, per region, so region is nothing but location, right? So usually the data where the data center they are built, right? So usually US, right? And India, right? Same way they are having the data center in Canada. Okay. So they are having multiple regions, etc. Okay. They are having around 60 plus region. Okay. So in the 60 plus region, they are having, so in each region, how many data centers they are having? Around
60.
no, in
3.
the 3
3.
data center, right? In the each region, at least they will have maximum 3 data center. Okay. That is the important thing. So that is called as a region data center. Okay. So when you're going to work with the Azure, right? So whatever resource you are creating, so you are purchasing from the Azure, let's say a virtual machine or any other server or any other service you are purchasing from the Azure, it's very important to choose region and data center. Okay. Why? Because see, let's say I am in India. If suppose I am trying to purchase some server in US or Canada, is it okay to purchasing the server from some other region?
Yeah, should be good.
Okay. So usually there will be a data compliance or there will be a restriction, right? So what is the important thing here? So if you are in India, right, but you are trying to purchase the services in Canada. Okay. So this is usually not a good practice. Why? Because see the costing difference, the main impact is cost. Okay. So whatever the service you are purchasing in India, the region, and same way you are purchasing in Canada, the both the cost are not similar. Okay. The cost will vary. Okay. Because there will be a cost difference, right? In the India, it's going to be the some different cost, and same way in the Canada, it's going to be different cost. Both are not similar. right? So the first impact is cost. Okay, if you don't know about the regions, if you're directly purchasing any other region, any other service you are purchasing in any other region, there will be a cost different. At the end of the month, you are going to wondering, so there will be a big, huge cost you are spending. Okay, so that's why that region is very important. Okay, why the costing is different is, see, and also the second important part is accessibility. Okay, what is the meaning of the accessibility? Means you are in India, whatever services you are creating in Canada, right? So whenever you are trying to access the service, so there will be a network drop or network, there will be a slowness. Okay, why this created in Canada, right? So always the traffic, it will go from India to Canada, again the return traffic will come from Canada to India, right? So this is how that it will cause some slowness issue, network issue. Okay, so there will be accessibility issue, but it's not that much, but still there will be a hanging issue or something, the network slowness issue, it will be there. Okay, and also the main important thing, they will put cost based on the data transfer. Okay, what is the data transfer means? Let's say you are uploading 5 GB data into the Canada server, right? If you are trying to download that 5 GB data, right? So the data is going to be downloaded in India location, right? The server hosted in Canada. So which means 5 GB data that is transferring from Canada to India. So then there will be a data transfer cost. Okay, it's going to be huge whenever due to the distance. Got it?
Okay.
So now you understood?
Yeah.
Okay, still, let's say if you go with the IT organization perspective, might be the customers, whatever the customers they are going to use your website might be there in Canada, right? Only the thing is you're the owner, you're living in India, right? So that time you can purchase the services in Canada because all the users available in Canada or nearby Canada. So then no issue. Okay, so there will be a no data transfer cost, accessibility issue, right? So everything it's going to be normal because all the customers living in Canada, so you don't want to worry about it, or nearby Canada, then that scenario you can choose the Canada. Okay, but just think about all the customers are available in India or nearby India, but you are choosing Canada as a data center, then everything the cost it's going to be impact, right? Cost it will increase due, and accessibility issue and data transfer cost, everything it's going to be increase due to the distance. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the people will report like, whenever I am trying to access the website, it's going to be very slow, it's keep on loading because due to the distance. Got it? Okay, so that's why setting up the data center and region is very important. Okay, so now the third point is availability zone. That is nothing but your 3 data centers. Okay, your 3 data center is called as a availability zones, right? So usually availability zone means you have a 3 data center that is called as a zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So this is called as a availability zone. So which means that is data center only that is available for the customer, right? So that's why they are called as a availability zone. So the data center, another name you can call as a availability zone. It's clear? So now the 3 basics is clear: data center, region, and availability zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So whenever you are purchasing any service, so definitely you will see the region and availability zone. Okay. Yes. So now, why the Azure needs to build multiple data center in India, or why the Azure needs to build multiple data center in US? Any other purpose? So they can have one data center in per region, right? Why they should build multiple data centers?
Because of the area.
Because of
The area.
area means
The area in the sense the countries are bigger, larger.
larger, right? Okay. No. So the single place, see, why they need to have 3 data centers. So that is an important thing. Okay, and also they see the single data center they can build as a big, right? So why they can put it as a 3 part.
Okay, to share the load.
To share the load. Okay, see, usually why the Azure is provide, it's not only for Azure. If you're taking the Azure, AWS or GCP, so by default you will learn this 3 concept: region, availability zone. Okay, so what is the main purpose of the availability zone here is the name itself they are calling availability zone. So what is the meaning of availability here? If any of the data center is failure due to the power outage or due to the disaster, still you can able to access your service from another data center. So that's why they are called as availability zone. Okay, so usually the how it's look like. 1 minute. Yes, so you just think about we are having one region, right? So the region is we can take it as a India. Okay, we have a Indian region. So in the region we have only one data center, only one data center building. So where all the server networking everything is available. When you are requesting for any service, the Azure is provisioning the service inside the data center. Okay, so now you just think about due to the power outage or due to the disaster happened to the data center, the entire data center is down. So now is it possible to access your server or service, whatever you purchased from the Azure?
No.
No, absolutely no, right? Because the entire data server is down due to the power outage or due to the disaster or something happened to the data center, right? So that's why Azure is planned some architecture that is availability zone. So what is the meaning of the availability zone here is Azure is planned around at least 3 data centers. They build 3 data centers in different location, but inside the India only. Okay, inside the India, in a different location, they build 3 data centers. All the 3 data centers not in the same location. That is important. Okay, this all the data center is physically separated. Okay, that is placed in some other location within the India, inside the India, right? So usually the distance between one data center to another data center, it's a mile distance. Okay, it's not nearby data centers. Okay, so within the India, they are building the multiple data centers, that is 3 data centers. So each one is separated by miles. Okay, that is a very important, and physically that is fully separated. There is no power sharing, or there is no network sharing, nothing. Everything is completely isolated from one data center to another data center. Okay, so what is the main purpose? If one data center is down, it should not affect the other data center. Okay, so that is the main aim of cloud architecture. It's clear?
Okay.
And also the important thing, this is for backup perspective. Let's say you are creating one service in the A data center. Okay, so now you can, Azure is providing the option called backup or high availability option. What is the option they are providing? Backups or high availability option. So what is the high availability option here is, so this is somewhat expensive, but Azure is providing, Azure and AWS, all the cloud providers providing. So what is the meaning of the backups and availability zone here is, whenever you are creating the service in one particular data center, that service backup, you can put it into some other data center. Okay, so now the backup is available in some other data center within the India. Okay, so now you just think about due to some power outage or something, your entire data center is down. Still, you can able to restore your data from the other data center because your backup is available in next data center. It's clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the main purpose of backup. And also the next option is called high availability, right? What is the meaning of the high availability means? Let's say when you are choosing that option, when you are choosing that high availability option, so the cost it's going to be double. You are going to pay double the cost. Why? Because the Azure, what it will do, Azure, it will create 2 service in the background. One service in one data center, another service in another data center. So which means in the background, you are having 2 services are running. Okay. But anyhow, you are going to access one service only at a time. If that service is down, you don't want to worry. Automatically, you are redirected to the another service that is readily available. Both are synced together. So same data that is available in the backup server. Okay. So then there is no downtime. Still, you can able to continuously access your server. It's clear?
Yeah.
So this is look like a high availability option. Okay. So that's why they are building the multiple data centers availability zone per region. Got it?
Yeah.
So now any other doubts?
No. Can carry on.
Yeah. Okay. So the next part is we are going to learn about the basics of Azure fundamentals, right? So usually, if you are going to work with Azure, you should know about the management group, subscription, resource group, and resources. Okay. So management is nothing but it's a cumulative of subscriptions, or it's a group of subscription called as a management. Okay. Under the management only, we are going to have a group of subscription. Subscription is nothing but it's a billing point. It's a billing point. Okay. At the end of the month, the bill is going to be generated based on the subscription. Okay. And you are going to pay the amount, everything you are going to pay in the subscription level. Got it? So you are going to link your credit card or debit card to the subscription. Okay. And once the bill is generated, you are going to pay the amount in the subscription level. Okay. Yes. So now in the subscription, we have around 3 types. One is a free tier subscription, whatever you created. So usually in the free tier subscription, Azure will provide some credit points. Okay. So you can use the credit point for 1 month to use the Azure resources. And after that, you have to upgrade your subscription to pay as you go. Pay as you go model. It's clear?
Yeah.
So that is the second type. So pay as you go means whatever you are using in the Azure, how many hours or minutes you are using, you are going to pay the amount. Okay. Yes. And the third type is called as a enterprise. Enterprise. Okay. So enterprise is nothing but it's this is for big company. Okay. So enterprise level subscription. So usually, let's say we have a bigger companies in the real time. That bigger companies purchase lots of resources from Azure. 1,000+ server, right? 1,000+ databases. So everything they will purchase from the Azure. So if you have the enterprise level subscription, Azure will provide discount, lots of discount, because you are the valuable customer for Azure. You are purchasing n number of services from Azure. If you have an enterprise level subscription, so Azure will provide the support and they will provide the discount and whatever. So enterprise means you are going to purchase bulk product from the Azure. That is called enterprise. Okay. So in the enterprise, you will get support from the Azure. If anything goes wrong, you can get support from the Azure as well as the discount. Okay. So the discount is available in the pay as you go model also, but the support is not available. If you want to depend on the Azure, the support is not available. For support itself, you have to pay separate cost in pay as you go. Okay. Yes. So the subscription type is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is a resource group. Resource group, it's going to be under the subscription only. So what is the meaning? The meaning of the resource group means it's a group of resources. That's it. So let's say in Azure, I'm going to create some dev resources or production resources or testing resources, right? So that resources you can group together using the resource group. So let's say you are going to create dev resource group and you are going to create prod resource group, right? So under the dev resource group, you are going to create dev resources. Let's say dev mission, okay? And you are going to create dev database, okay, etc. Whatever, okay? So under the production resource group, you are going to create production mission, production database, okay? So this is how you are going to isolate the services using the resource group. Okay. If you are deleting the dev resource group, under the dev resource group, whatever resource you are having, everything is going to be deleted. Okay. If you are deleting the prod resource group, under the production resource group, whatever resources you created, everything is going to be deleted. Okay.
Yeah.
It's clear? Yes. So that's about the subscription, resource scope, and resources. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other doubts in the Azure basics?
No.
Now,
Yeah, no doubts because I don't know anything about it. I don't have any doubts for now. Yeah. Okay, what's next?
am I audible?
Yeah, you are now.
Okay. Okay. So up to this clear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Rajesh. Okay, just try to go through all the topics whatever discussed today. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to start the Azure services. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So we're starting with Azure first, then DevOps, right?
Yes. So first we'll try to complete the Azure basics. Okay, Azure basic services, and after that we'll move on to the DevOps.
Okay.
Okay. So mostly in the DevOps we are going to learn Docker, Kubernetes, right, and pipelines, CI/CD pipelines. So everything we are going to see.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
You created free tier account only, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, it's for 1 month
Okay.
validity.
Yes. So you can able to you can search the subscription. You can able to see your free tier subscription, right? And after that, when you are going to create purchase any resource, we are going to create the resource group. Under the resource group, we are going to put our resources.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So we're going to
Okay, Rajesh.
in Azure, what we're going to learn only basics or the full on because I saw the structure of the course.
They shared the syllabus, right? In the syllabus, whatever they mentioned, everything we are going to learn.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Rajesh.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Particularly for Azure, this screen is visible.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I think the previous session on yesterday we discussed about the server, right? What is server and how the IT terminology is working, right? And what is data center, right? And what are the problems if you are owning your own data center, right? So these are all the things we have discussed on yesterday, right? So today we are going to start with the cloud types, the types of cloud. Okay, so what are the types of cloud we are having in the real time? Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. So we have a private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid. Okay. This is not for Azure. This is a common for cloud. Okay. So what is the meaning of the public cloud means? So usually whatever we are using, AWS, Azure, GCP. So these all called as a public cloud. Why? Because
Are you recording,
uh,
Rajesh?
yes.
Will you record?
Yes, recorded. Started.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yes, so usually what is the meaning of the public cloud means? So whatever the service you are purchasing from the Azure or AWS or GCP, so these all the services you can access from anywhere using internet, right? So if you have an internet, that's it. You can just go and purchase or rent the service from the cloud provider. Okay, you can use it from anywhere. So that is a important thing of public cloud. Okay, still you can able to restrict, right? So you can define the rule who and all can access your services. So you can able to provide the permissions, right? So that you can share the services to someone or might be your colleagues or your friends. So that people also can access your services. That is your rent from the cloud. It's clear?
Mhm.
Yes, that is an important thing of public cloud. And so nowadays all we are using public cloud because all the services should be accessible from the internet and it's easy to use, right? That is the important thing. But still in the public cloud, mostly in the real time, we are making as a private, right? So even though we are depending on the public cloud, So everything we are going to convert as a private. So which means what are the services might be you can purchase from the virtual machine or database, whatever. So it can be accessible only within your office network. Still we are restricting. So it should not be accessible in the public internet. If someone knows your credentials or someone knows the login things, so they can't able to log in. Okay, definitely they should be belongs to your office network. So then only they can access your cloud resources. So that's how we restricted in the real time if you go with the public cloud. Okay, but still you can go with the public or you can make it as a private. Okay, it's
Okay.
clear?
Yeah.
Yes. So now how this private cloud will work here is, so usually in the private cloud, it will not be accessible in the internet. Okay, so it's going to be fully private. So it's a communication between your office network to private cloud. That's it. So which means if someone knows the credentials of this service, let's say you are purchasing purchasing the database from private cloud. So even though I know the database username, password, IP address, I can't able to access from outside of my office network. So I should be belongs to my office network. So then only I can able to access this private resources. It's clear? Yes. So usually how this architecture is look like. So let's say we are going to have the private cloud. Okay. So just assume you are going to purchase one database. Okay. You are purchasing one database. So this database, even though you created, you know the username, password, IP address, you can't directly access this database in the private cloud. Okay, so it is access is restricted. You cannot directly access via internet, right? So how you can access this private resources? So the only way is you have to provide some commitment. You have to join with your network to the private cloud. Let's say we have a office network, office Wi-Fi network, right? So this is our office Wi-Fi network. So what we are going to do, we are going to attach this network with the private cloud network. Okay, so now once your office network that is attached with the private cloud, now whoever is belongs to the office, right? So whoever is connected to the office Wi-Fi network, so from the system they can able to access the database.
How
Clear?
you gonna
So the
connect the
traffic.
office?
Yes.
How you connect the office to the cloud?
So usually the network engineers will configure some concept called tunnel. They will create some tunnel. Okay. So that one we are not going to create it. So usually the network engineers will build the tunnel between your private cloud to office network.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a private communication, it's a private connection. So all the traffic, it will go from your office network to private cloud via this tunnel. Okay, so that if you want to access the resources, you should belongs to the office network. You should in your system, you have to connect your office network, office Wi-Fi network. Then only you can able to access this database. Okay. Yes. So that is about the private cloud. So nowadays the public cloud also we converted as a private. So even though in the public cloud, there is no restriction by default. So if you create the database, you can access from anywhere. If you know the credential, you can access from your home network, office network, from wherever, right? So, but it's not a good practice. So that's why in the public cloud also, we are building this tunnel. The network engineers will build this tunnel. Only they are restricting the access. Only from office to you can access the resources, right? It's clear?
Yeah.
Yes. Up to this clear? Public
Yes.
and private cloud. Yes. And the last one is a hybrid cloud. It's nothing but most of the organization they are using hybrid cloud only. So mostly they will use the combination of public and private cloud. So then your office it's called as a hybrid cloud. Okay. So how this hybrid cloud will work here is, usually what we are going to do, we have some sensitive data, right? So we have financial data, employee data. This all the sensitive data we are going to store in the database, right? So this database we are going to purchase from the private cloud. Okay, we are going to purchase from the private cloud because it's a more sensitive. Even though someone knows the credential, they should not access from outside network, right? So that's why we are purchasing the database from the private cloud. So now this database from where you can access, only you can access from your office network. So using tunnel. So we will create some tunnel between your private cloud to office network, right? So now
Mm.
the next services, let's say the company website or some employee portal. So some of the website we need to expose as a public in the internet. So which means
Mm.
anyone can see your website. So anyone can
Mm.
access your employee portal or career portal, right? So that type
Mm.
of website we are going to host it in the public internet. So which means the public cloud. Okay. So that time what we will do, we will go with the Azure or AWS cloud. Okay.
Mm.
So in that cloud, we will purchase the server. We will host our company website so that this website, it can be accessed from anywhere, from any location from your company network or home network, from anywhere you can access this website because that is hosted in public cloud. Got it?
Mm. Okay.
Yes. So this is how most of the organization, they are having the hybrid cloud environment. Some of most of the sensitive services they hosted in the private cloud. Some of the publicly accessible or internet-based website or application they hosted in the public cloud. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And the important thing, the public cloud you can make it as a private, but the private you can't able to make it as a public. That is the important thing. Okay. So in the private cloud, you don't have or you never have any option to make it as a public. It won't accept. Okay. Only it's a
Okay.
commitment between your network to private network. That's it. But in the public cloud, the default way you can go with the public. In the internet, anyone can access it. But if you want to restrict, you can make it as a private.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So any doubts? The types of cloud?
No, clear.
Yes. So now the cloud is, if you are going to use any cloud, might be Azure or AWS or whatever. So before you are going to use the cloud product, so you have to think about the characteristics. Okay. What are the characteristics the cloud is having? Okay. So usually there is a 5 points. So you can able to see the first 2 point is on-demand self-service. So what is the meaning of the on-demand self-service means? So the service should be readily available. Okay. Let's say I want to purchase one Windows machine. I want some Linux machine means the service should be readily available so that I can quickly purchase and you can use it. Okay. So that type of service should be provided by your cloud provider. Might be Azure or AWS, whatever. Okay.
Mm.
And also the important thing, so you should not depend on others. Okay. So you can log into the Azure portal or AWS. So you can create the resources without any support or dependency. So that's why they're telling on-demand self-service. Okay. You don't want to depend on any other support, cloud support or anything. You can log into the Azure, you can create the service, you can use it. Okay.
Mm.
Clear? So that type of characteristics, whatever the cloud is having, you can use the cloud. Okay. So or else if some of the cloud always you are depending on the support, then it's not on demand. Whenever you need something, you have to wait for the support. Once the support is came, then only you can able to create the service. So that is not good for real time. Okay. So that's why the first point is on demand self-service needed. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And the second one is a broad network access. So which means the cloud, it's most popular cloud. Let's say if you are taking the AWS or Azure, they are built the data center in across all the locations, US, Canada, India, right? Europe, China, all the places they are having the data center. The network is a broad network. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's why from India, if you are creating some service in the Canada, you can easily access it. From India to Canada, you can access the service, but there will be a delay, but still it's a broad network access so that you can access your service from India or from anywhere.
Mm.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And the next one is a multi-tenancy and resource pooling. It's nothing but uh, cloud is providing the uh, hardware and software. It's going to be wide range. Okay. So resource pooling means it's a kind of they will provide n number of resources in the background, right? So you can purchase 1,000 virtual machine or 1,000 databases. So everything it's going to be readily available. Okay. And also the important thing, so multiple customer, they are going to share the same physical resource. Okay. Which means the AWS or Azure, they will provide the security as well, but still all the people can share the same hardware and software, but it's going to be isolated. Okay.
Mm.
It's clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And the fourth one is a rapid elasticity and scalability. So it's nothing but, let's say you are purchasing small database. So it's having only 2 core CPU and 4 GB RAM. But suddenly the number of requests is high. The n number of people, they are trying to access your database. So that time the 2 core 4 GB RAM, it's not enough, right? So you can quickly increase 2 core to 8 core, 4 GB to 16 GB. You can increase the RAM and CPU. Okay, that is called scalability. It's clear? So whenever you want, you can increase the resource, hardware and hardware size, you can increase it. If you don't want, you can decrease it. Again, you can come back to the 16 GB to 4 GB, 8 core CPU to 2 core CPU, you can do it. That is called elasticity. So elasticity means it's a property. So whenever you want, you can increase or decrease, right? So that is called elasticity. Okay. Scalability means you are increasing the size, right? So whenever you want, you are increasing the size. That is called scalability.
Okay.
Okay. And the last one is nothing but measured service. So how much hours you are using, how many minutes you are using that service, everything it's going to be second by second, it's going to be measured. Okay. So there will be accurate hours, minutes, it's going to be measured by cloud provider. You are going to pay the exact cost. Okay. So these are all the characteristics you should consider when you are going to use the cloud provider. Okay. So usually the popular three cloud, GCP, AWS and Azure, they are having, they are satisfying these all the characteristics. So that's why we are, the real time we are using we are depending on the cloud provider. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So any doubts in the characteristics and types of cloud?
Now, for payment, so how will this? So from the time we start signing the contract with the cloud, or when the user is hitting the resource. So
Yes.
how is the payment?
So usually the cost, it's going to be based on various factors. Okay. It's not about a fixed part. Okay. The cost is based on service usage. Okay. So the first one is there will be a fixed cost. What is the meaning of the fixed cost means? Let's say you are purchasing one database. Okay. So for the database, you are allocating 2 core CPU and 8 GB RAM. Okay. You are renting the hardware, right? So you are purchasing the hardware from cloud provider. So once you allocated this resource to your database, they will start to calculate the cost. That is fixed cost. So they will tell like per hour, you are going to pay $0.005 per hour. So that is a fixed cost. So this is one type of cost. And the second cost is, and also this cost, it's based on your database status. If it is running, then only they will put cost. If it is not running, which means if it is stopped state, okay, let's say you are not using the database, you are going to stop it. So if you stop the database, they won't charge it. They won't put any charges. Okay. The cost is only for running period. How much hours the database is running. Okay. If you stop the service, let's say in your laptop, how many hours you are using the laptop, that is a running period. When you shut down the laptop or when you are stop the laptop, then they will not put any charges. They won't put any charges.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Again, if you are going to use, you can start. Okay. Yes. So that is a cost based, the first fixed cost. And the second one is the usage cost. Okay. So usage cost means, let's say there will be n number of requests, right? So let's say 1,000 plus requests coming to your database, and so your database is overutilized. So that time also they are going to put some utilization cost or usage cost. Okay. So usually they will call it as a operational cost.
Okay.
Operational cost. What is the meaning of the operational cost? Means how much data you are retrieving, how much data you are putting into the database, right? So that usage cost they are going to calculate, but that is not equivalent to fixed cost. That is very, very less compared to a fixed cost. Okay. So let's say you can assume might be they will put $0.0025. It's not per hour. It's not a fixed. So that is based on the usage. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. And also they will provide some other cost. Others cost means let's say the storage cost. Okay. And the IP address cost. Okay. So some of the extra additional cost they will put for how much storage you are allocating. Let's say for your database you are allocating 100 GB storage. Then there will be a storage cost. and you got some public IP address for accessing your database. For that also you have some additional cost. So which means your total cost, it's going to be fixed usage and others. So this is your total cost.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Yes, but the major cost is fixed cost only, and the usage and others, it's going to be vary. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So up to this clear?
Yeah. Clear.
Okay. Yes, so that's about the cost and the characteristics. And the next part we are going to discuss about the types of cloud computing. So it's nothing but what are the types of product they are delivering, the cloud providers delivering. Okay, so usually they are delivering three types of product. If you go to the cloud, you can purchase three type of product. One is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Okay, what is the meaning of the IaaS means? See, it's about fully manage how they are managing. That's the three types of product. Okay, so let's say if you first one is on premises, so which means your product or your service. So usually in the on premises, in your office network, if you are purchasing one laptop or if you are having some computer, you are only responsible for entire management, taking the Windows update, or if a hardware software failure, you only have to manage it, right? So you only need to provide the power and everything, you are only going to manage, right? That is called on premises. But if you go to the cloud, there will be three types of managed product. So one is IaaS, so which means infrastructure as a product. So which means 50% cloud will manage, 50% you have to manage. Okay, so the best example is virtual machine. Let's say you are purchasing one Windows machine from cloud provider. So creating that Windows machine, that is virtualization technology they will use to create the machine, and they're managing the server. The background they will have the server, hardware, software. That one they will manage, and the storage, how much storage you want, that is also they will allocate for you, and the networking, providing the IP address, everything, providing the internet connection, that everything they will manage. So it will managed by the cloud. So which means providing the product and managing the product, that is fully cloud. Okay, and what about the remaining thing here is, let's say inside the machine you have to install one software. Let's say I'm having one Java application. If I want to run the Java application inside the Windows machine, I have to install Java. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so because AWS or cloud, Azure, they will not provide they will not install the Java inside your Windows machine. See, they provided the Windows machine. Now you are only responsible for installing the software, running your application code, managing the application data. That is under your management. Yeah, Azure cloud provider will not take it. Okay, so let's say unfortunately you crashed the Windows OS, then who will responsible? Cloud or us? We are only need to take care.
So the Windows operating systems.
Yes,
So we should take care.
yes, because cloud, while providing the service, cloud is providing perfectly. So they provided a fresh Windows machine with some storage, networking, everything they provided. And after we installed that, due to that the OS got crashed means, so that is our responsibility, right? So that's why they are telling the OS runtime means the software, extra software, Java, Python, whatever you want, you can install it. And the data and the application, whatever you are running inside the machine, you have to take care of it. So that's why the first part is called IaaS. The best example is virtual machine. Okay. Yes. So second one is a platform as a service. So the platform as a service, it's nothing but 80% cloud will manage, 20% you have to manage. Okay, so you can able to see the additional 3 layer, it's going to be managed by cloud. The OS runtime also the cloud will manage, which means let's say I have some Java application. I'm telling to the cloud, I don't want to create a mission. I don't want to install the Java. I don't know how to do the setup, right? So you can, so cloud is providing the service called web apps. What is the product name? Web apps. So you can simply create the web apps. So the web app will contain the OS, virtual machine, the Java software, everything. It's going to be pre-installed inside the web app. Okay, it's a fully managed service. Okay, so only the thing is you have to upload your code inside the web app. Web app will run the code, and after that you can see your application. That's it. Okay. You are not going to have the access on this virtual machine, installing the Java, changing the configuration, nothing. You don't have any underlying access. So the only thing is you can upload your code. Yeah, cloud will manage your code and it will run your code. All the dependency cloud will install it inside the web app. Okay, it's a kind of fully managed one. So only thing is you have to upload your application code. That's it. And you have to manage the data. Okay, the entire thing is fully cloud managed. OS update, installing the Java, Python, or installing your application packages, everything the cloud will take care. Okay. Yes. So the last one is a very simple one, software as a service. It's nothing but fully managed by cloud. So which means in the real time we are using some softwares, right? Outlook, Gmail, YouTube. So we are using this product, right? So these and all called as a software as a service. So are we doing any changes in the YouTube or Gmail, anything? We are doing any configuration changes or we are doing any update or anything?
For Google.
Any other, let's say if you're taking the YouTube or if you're taking the Gmail, right? Outlook, right? Just we are using the tabs, right?
Yes.
But are we making any changes or we are changing any settings or we are deploying anything we are doing?
No.
So we are not managing anything, right? So purely it's full and full managed by the cloud. So only we are going to use that software, that apps, right? So that's why that is called as a software as a service. Okay, so this is the three types of product provided by the cloud. One is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So which product you want, you can purchase from the cloud. Okay. Yes. So up to this clear?
Yeah.
Yes. So any doubts? So I think we completed the cloud basics. So up to this, any doubts? The cloud basics or Azure basics. The Azure basics we discuss about the data center, availability zone, region, right? And subscription, resource group, right? So now I will show you how you can see the subscription. So I have login to the Azure portal. Okay. So 1 minute. So Azure portal is portal.azure.com. So yesterday we have seen subscription or resource group and everything, right? So now we'll see everything inside the Azure portal. Okay. Yes. So usually if you want to create the resource, you have to click the create resource button. Okay. If you click the create resource option, you can able to see various services, right? So it's a IaaS based service, PaaS based service, or SaaS based service, whatever. All the service you can able to see. And they categorize as a database, analytics, DevOps, right? Integration, Internet of Things, IoT. So they categorize as all the services. Okay. If you click on the database, if let's say you want to purchase the database, you can click on the database. You can see all the database service. Redis cache, Postgres database, SQL database, analytics database, Cosmos DB. So all the databases available. Okay. Yes. So all the services they categorize. Okay. Or else you can directly search the service. You can purchase it. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we are going to do, 1 minute, we'll go to the home page. You can go to the create resource. You can, whatever resource you want, you can create it, or else you can directly search here. Okay. So now first we'll see the basics. First we'll see the subscription, our subscription. Just search subscription. Just go to the subscription. So now what type of subscription we are having? I think you are going to have a free tier subscription. Once the free tier is completed, you have to upgrade as a pay as you go. Okay. So my free tier is completed already. So now my subscription name is pay as you go. So whatever I am using, utilizing the service, I have to pay the amount. Okay. 1 minute. Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. So you can able to see, we already discussed subscription is a billing point. So where you can see the total cost, right? And you can able to pay the amount as well. Okay. You can go to the subscription. Okay, you can able to see the what are the resources currently you are using and the cost management, everything you can able to see here. Okay, so if you click on the resources, what are the resources currently you are using, you can able to see. Okay, and also the costing point, you can go to the cost management, you can click on the cost analysis where you can get the cost report. Okay, it's loading.
Mhm.
Yes, so you can able to see the date wise, right? So the date wise you can able to see the cost, right? And also you can able to filter based on the cost by service. So you can tell like what are the services, how much cost it is consuming, right? Cost by service. Okay, you can able to see I created some virtual machine, I created some container instance, it is having some IP address. For everything you can able to see the particular cost, how much cost it utilized, right? So you can able to see the cost and the period wise you can able to see. Let's say last 7 days, or I want to see only for this month. Okay, so based on this date range, you can able to see the cost, how much total cost that is allocated or used for each service. Okay.
So who will gonna be doing all these things? Is it Azure DevOps engineer or
See, usually
yeah,
there will be a different roles in the real time. There will be Azure
yeah,
administrator, there will
yeah,
be Azure DevOps engineer and Azure support engineers and developer
mm,
engineers. So there will be a number of roles. So usually
yeah,
this cost management, creating the subscription, provisioning the access, it going to be fully completely managed by the administrator.
okay,
Okay, Azure DevOps perspective, we are not going to setting up anything in the cloud. Just we are going to create some virtual machine, creating the pipelines, right? We are going to manage in the DevOps perspective, not in the cloud perspective, right? But anyhow, we are going
no,
to work with the cloud only. So that's why we should know the all the cloud basics.
yes,
Okay,
okay,
even though we
yeah,
know how to see the costing, how to pay, everything we know, but usually in the real time they won't provide access to us. That's important.
okay,
Okay.
yeah,
And you
okay,
can able to see there is an option to download the cost report. Okay, and this is a usually you can able to filter your cost based on the timeline, cost by service, right? So everything or based on resources, everything you can able to see. Okay.
mm, okay,
Okay, if you want to pay the amount, you can go to the billing, you can able to go to the payment method, or you can go to the invoices. So every month the invoice it's going to be generated. Okay, let's say you can able to see every month it invoice is generated, you can able to see the amount due. Okay, so
mm,
this amount we have to pay. Okay, so you can simply go to the particular invoice.
yeah,
Okay, you can add your payment details and you can pay the amount. Okay,
okay,
clear?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So I have set, I have configured my card details, debit card details. So it's a auto pay. So automatically they will deduct the amount from my account. Okay.
okay,
Yes. So up to this clear?
yeah,
Yes. So the notification itself, you can able to see there is an unpaid amount of $3.81 for previous month. You have just click pay your balance. You can pay the cost. Okay.
oh, okay,
Yes. So up to this clear?
yeah,
The subscription. Yes. So under the subscription only, we are going to create the resources, database, virtual machine, whatever you want, you are going to purchase based on the subscription. But the important thing, uh, there will be n number of subscription in the real time. Okay, to
mm-hmm.
isolate the cost. Why? Because the one subscription it's not going to be used for entire org. Okay, so usually in the real time, how the subscription they created here is based on the department. Let's say there will be a HR department developers. Okay,
Okay,
and there
okay,
will be a internal website developers, internal team, and there will be a client project.
okay,
Okay, so usually what they will do, all the people they are going to use single Azure portal only, but they are not going to use same subscription. That is the important thing, because if all the people are using the same subscription, what will happen? Might be some person can delete some resources that is that is related to HR. Some people can delete some resource or update some, unfortunately, right? So that's why we need to isolate the resources, and the costing also we have to isolate it. Okay, so that's why in the real time, what we will do, we will create a separate subscription for HR department. We will create a separate subscription for internal projects and client project. Okay, so that once we created the different subscription for each department, we will provide the access to that particular department, so that the people can log into the Azure portal. They can see only the particular department subscription only. Okay, only the administrator can see all the subscriptions. Okay, how you can create the subscription? Just simply click add button. You can create a subscription for one department. So let's say I'm going to create a separate subscription for HR department. So you can use the subscription to create the resources. Whatever you want, you can purchase from the Azure using this subscription. Okay, so that the cost you can able to see only for the HR. Okay. Yes. So now you can able to see, just click select the offer. So we are going to usually in the pay as you go model only, right? So you can just select the offer. One. Yes, so now it is asking to same thing, the agreement, and you have to provide your account details, debit card details, everything you have to configure to purchase the subscription. Okay. So once you purchase the subscription, there will be a one more subscription. It's going to be appear here. So that subscription you can provide the access subscription to the HR department. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So up to this place, this is how in the real time we will create separate subscription for each project or for each department. So then only the cost it's going to be isolated. And also don't want to mix everything, right? So because some people can disturb other resources that is created by someone, right? So that things also we have to isolate. That's why the subscription we are going to. So when you are isolating the subscription, under the subscription only we have a resource group and resources. So everything it's going to be isolated. Okay, if someone is, if you are providing this subscription access to someone, other subscription and resources they can't see, they can't access it. Okay. So it's clear, the subscription part.
Yeah.
Yes. So now you can create your resource group. Let's say in the real time we are going to have a dev resource group, production resource group, something, because we are going to group the resources, right? So we'll create the resource group. Okay, so already I have two resource groups. So let's say we'll create resource group. So the now you can able to see it is asking the subscription, which subscription you are going to create the resource group, because the billing is going to be connected with the subscription, right? Yes. So now I have only one subscription. I will choose a subscription. But let's say the HR department is logging to the Azure portal. They can see only the HR related subscription. They won't see your subscription. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So now I will create dev resource group. So which means all the dev resources, I am going to put it into this resource group. Okay. Yes. And the region, which region you are going to create this resource group. Okay. I'm just choosing my location, that is Central India. That's it. Now the tag. So tag is nothing but it's it's kind of some kind of information. So you're telling like who's created this, created by. Let's say it's created by me, your name or mail ID. Okay. Something Rajesh at gmail.com, something, your mail ID, and the department. So why you for which department you created this resource group? Let's say for some client, the client project. Okay, and that's it, created by and the requested by. Okay, so like this you can put some more tag, so that in the future you can understand, while seeing this tag itself you can understand who created this resource group, who owning this, for which department they created this resource group. You can able to identify based on the tag. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So now Just click review and create. That's it. Create. Okay. So now the resource group is created. You can able to see there will be a one more resource group is added. One. We have to refresh it. Yes. So the dev resource group is created. So currently it's a empty resource group. You can able to see there is no resources inside the dev resource group. Okay. So it's clear.
Yeah.
Yes. So now we added the resource group under the resource groups. Okay. Yes. So any doubts in the subscription and resource group? So in the real time, we will have a multiple resource groups based on your use case, right? So dev for development, production, testing. So we will create a separate resource group to isolate the resources. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So any doubts?
No. All good.
Okay. Yes. So now what we are going to do, I will show you on simple virtual machine purchase part. Okay, I'm going to purchase one simple Windows machine or something. Okay. So what I will do, you can directly go to the click on the home button. You can go to the create resource. Okay, you can purchase the virtual. You know about virtual machine? What is virtual machine?
Yeah.
So yes. So what is virtual machine?
So the virtual machine is a replica of
Okay.
of the exact same machine, right?
Yes. So
So
usually,
yeah.
1 minute, Rajesh. 1 minute. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yes. Sorry, Manish. Yes. So we'll create our first resource. So I will go to the compute. 1 minute. So we are not going to create any database. So
No,
we'll search for
you stopped in
virtual
virtual
machine.
machine topic. Yeah.
Yes, virtual machine. Or else you can directly search in the search bar itself. Okay, virtual machine. Yes, so you can able to see the service name virtual machine. Okay, so now we are going to purchase one simple virtual machine. So it's going to be Windows machine. Okay, so just simply click create virtual machine. Yes, so we discussed about the virtualization, right? So yes, what's your understanding about virtualization?
Virtualization. So, as per my understanding, it's a replica of the physical computer, right? So
Yes,
we
yes. So
can.
usually, it's not exactly replica. So what we will do in the real time. So let's say we are going to have the server or the computer, whatever, right? So it's going to be have 100 GB RAM. It's a very big server or big computer. It's having 100 GB RAM and it's having 200 core CPU. Okay. So now the important thing, whatever the physical computer we are having, at a time, one person only can log into this machine, can work on it,
Yeah.
right? But the machine capacity is very high. It's 100 GB RAM and 200 core CPU, right? So that's why what we can do, we are going to slice this machine into multiple virtual machines. Okay, so that at the same time, multiple person can use individual machine and they can use it. Okay, and also the data, it's going to be isolated. Let's say now I'm going to slice this machine, right? So for slicing, we are going to use the virtualization software. It is called as a Hyper-V or VMware or so n number of software is available. Okay, so you have to install that software first in your physical computer. Okay, so once the virtualization software is installed, might be we are using Hyper-V. Okay, so once the Hyper-V is installed, you can use this Hyper-V to slice your machine. Slice is nothing but you are taking some amount of memory and CPU and storage from the total. Okay, let's say I'm going to take 8 core CPU and 16 GB RAM. Okay, and the storage I'm going to allocate 100 GB, not 50 GB storage. Okay, so now this resource I'm allocating for, I'm just slicing using the higher virtualization technology. This it's completely isolated, and now you can create as a virtual machine. So now in this virtual machine, we'll have the guest OS. So let's say your physical computer is having Windows OS. Then don't assume the virtual machine also will have same Windows OS. Not like that. You can put your own guest OS. Might be Linux, Windows, whatever you want, you can put. So now this machine, it's going to be completely new virtual machine. Okay, but whatever the data it is storing, it's going to be your physical computer isolated part. Okay, and also the important thing, other people can't see the data or can't use this RAM and CPU that is allocated for other virtual machine. Okay, so now same way you can create multiple virtual machine. You can allocate multiple storage, RAM, CPU for different virtual machines, right? So now everything it's going to be isolated. Okay, at a time the people can let's say the one people can access this virtual machine, another people can access this virtual machine, right? So and the important thing, the data it's going to be stored in physical computer only, but again other people can't able to see your other virtual machine data. It's fully completely isolated. Okay, so now we have only physical computer, only one physical computer. That one we are making as a virtual computer. So which means so they can access via the internet or they can access via the online. That is the important thing. Okay, they don't want to take that physical computer, or they don't want to see the underlying hardware and software. So they can be anywhere, they can live in anywhere. They can only should know the IP address, username, password of the virtual machine. They can using the online, they can connect to this machine, they can work on it. Okay, so usually how you will connect this virtual machine means in our every system we have the software called remote desktop. Okay, remote
Yeah.
desktop is a software that is used for connecting to the virtual machine. Okay,
Yes.
so we are
Yeah.
accessing the virtual machine via online. So make sure you should connect it to the internet in your system. You should have an internet. So now you can just click open the desktop, virtual desktop, and you can provide the virtual machine IP address, username, and password. Just click connect. You are logging to that particular virtual machine.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a online. So purely it's about online. It's not look like your laptop, right? So in your laptop, you are seeing the keyboard, monitor. So physically you are accessing the system, right? But when you are
Okay.
discussing about the virtual machine, it is accessible via online or internet.
Okay.
Okay, but anyhow, to access the virtual machine, you need some laptop. Then only you can access that virtual machine.
Yeah.
So up to this clear?
Yeah. All clear. Yeah.
Yes. So now I will create one simple Windows machine. So while creating the virtual machine, you can able to see same way. They are asking the subscription because the billing point it's going to be subscription, right? And the resource group. So now I will choose. I will create this virtual machine under the dev resource group. Okay. Yes. So now you can provide the virtual machine name. Let's say sample VM. And this virtual machine I'm creating in the India data center. Okay, in India, there will be it's going to be take one data center. In the data center, the machine is going to be created. Okay.
Okay.
And currently, I'm not going to, we'll discuss about availability soon. So now currently I'm going to disable it. No infrastructure is required. And yes, so I'm choosing Ubuntu. So the OS I'm choosing Ubuntu, but if you want Windows or whatever you want, you can choose it. Okay. And the size. Okay, so the size you can choose whatever size you want. Variety of various of sizes available, from less to high. Okay, one from 1 GB RAM, 1 core CPU to you can able to see the, if you just click the see all sizes, you can able to see the bigger machine as well. Okay. Yes, so I will go with a very small machine that is 1 GB RAM and 1 core CPU. So which means the Azure, what they will do in the background, they will have the physical computer. In the physical computer, they will allocate the RAM and CPU whatever you requested. Okay, so this part is only for you. Okay, so that is the allocation that is done by the Azure. Okay. Yes. So now I will go with the password. So you can provide your username password for your virtual machine. Let's say I'm giving Azure user and the password, whatever password you want, you can provide the password.
Okay.
That's it. So now we'll go with the default settings and the disk, right? The disk is very important because the virtual machine will store the data into the disk, right? The disk, I will go with the default 30 GB disk. If you want, you can increase it. Okay, 64 GB, 128 GB, how much disk you want, you can increase it. And the disk type, I will go with the standard because premium is costly. I will go with the standard. That's it. The networking part. So everything I'm going to leave it as a default. Okay.
Okay.
And next, management. Okay, everything is a default. While when you are going to discuss about the virtual machine, we'll see this all the option. Okay. And advanced settings also I'm not going to choose. And the tags, and just simply review and create it. Okay, so they will provision. So it will take maximum 1 to 2 minutes. That's it. So and your virtual machine, it's going to be ready. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So once the validation is passed, you can click on the create button. They will provision the virtual machine. Okay. And also the left hand side or the right hand side, you can able to see the estimated monthly budget that you are going to pay 1,200 rupees per month. Okay. So they are calculating based on the networking, right? IP address, virtual machine data transfer, right? And the disk, currently they are not putting any cost, but there will be a cost for disk as well. So everything it's going to be calculated. Okay. Yes, so just click the create button. The virtual machine is going to be created. So mostly tomorrow I will show you, once the virtual machine is created, how you can access the virtual machine. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So any doubts?
All good. Yeah.